when you actually think about it, learning democracy from a blackboard, I mean, what does that actually really mean? I mean, democracy isn't something that you can just sit down and hear about. Democracy is the entire process about which you learn, and which you vote, and which you have self-determination. You can't just sit down and hear about it, you need to be able to practice it. So that's why we have programs like the Young Mayor, because the idea is to get young people to learn about citizenship, to learn about democracy, not through learning about it in the classroom, but by practicing it themselves. We're trying to instill that good practice, that good habit of voting, that good practice of citizenship throughout their later lives, because it's no secret that it's not just the United Kingdom, but Western Europe, the United States, pretty much every Western country is facing a democratic deficit. We are having less and less people every electoral year voting, and the reason why they're not voting is because they simply don't care anymore. Nobody has bothered to try and instill that sense that politics is important anymore. Nobody has bothered trying to tell people that, hang on a second, these politicians that you're voting for, they actually affect your life. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show people that, hang on a second, democracy, it's not just something that happens every 4 years. It happens throughout your entire life, every single day. And you are a part of it all the time. But there's also more to it than that as well. We're also trying to develop, get young people to develop things within inside themselves. We're trying to get them to understand that they're not the only people who live on this planet. We're trying to get them to understand that they need to develop themselves as a person. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to teach valuable skills. We're trying to teach skills like, well, as I keep on saying, self-determination, but also skills like speech-making, organisational skills. At the end of the day, we're trying to show young people that, hang on a second, you, that's right, you are the person who has the effects in your own life. You have the power, you make the change. Because there are far too many young people out there who just don't see this. And I'm not trying to say that young people don't get politics, young people don't understand politics. Everyone always says young people don't understand politics. And I've always thought that was the biggest load of ever. I mean, when I get back in my university days, I was still in university, but during my second year I made a documentary about the then general election that was coming. I walked into a group of people and asked if I could film them on camera. They said yes. I asked them who they'd be, by the way, these people were about 40 years old. I asked them who they'd be voting for. They said they wouldn't. I said, so you don't care what goes on in Parliament? And they then went and said to me, what's Parliament? Well, at the same time, if you go to some of our meetings, you will have 13 and 14-year-olds there whose rhetoric is so good, their debating skills are so good. You're like, well, if these people were in charge of the country, I'm pretty sure things wouldn't be as screwed up as they are right now. But still, we continually hear that young people don't care about politics, but I say that's not true. I don't think it's the fact that young people don't care about politics, it's the fact that nobody has given young people the opportunity to be listened to. Because this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to listen to young people and give them the opportunity to get their voice across. Because when you look at a young person, and you take the political world, and you see how they react to one another, I mean, generally, whenever a politician has something to say about a young person, unless it's a photo opportunity, it's almost always going to be negative. If you look at the way the media treats young people, the stories are almost always negative. I mean, if you take the recent riots into account, every time you read a news report on the riots, it's always, oh, those young people who are rioting, these young people who are rioting. Well, actually, if you look into the official statistics, less than 70% of the rioters were actually young people. Yeah, the statistics are absolutely shocking. But as a young person, how are you meant to react to this? The politicians hate you. The media hates you. Even your own society, you walk around the corner and people are like, you can't be standing around that corner, you should be going off and doing something, you can't stand there. The entire political establishment comes down on young people as if it doesn't want them. And then we blame them when young people seem like they're not interested in politics. Well, we treat them as if they're the ills of society. So this is what this project is about. It's about trying to reverse that. It's about trying to show young people that, hang on a second, you are not the great big ill of society. You are a part of society. Because maybe if we start teaching young people that they're a part of society rather than the problem, that maybe they have their place in society and they're not destroying it, maybe, just maybe, they might feel that they don't have to destroy their society when everything goes down the pan. As I keep on saying, if we do not invest in our political future, then we'll cease to have one.